Okay, so today is December 21st, 2022. We are almost at Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Saturnalium. Whatever you're celebrating or not celebrating, I want to wish greetings and good tidings to you. Today is a big one because we're coming up to the end of the year. And a lot of people like to use the end of the calendar year to start something new, which I get, but it really is an arbitrary time. But today we're going to talk about scaling. All right, scaling your land investing business, when to scale, how to scale, and when to kind of scale back. See what I did there? Scale back. Talking about scaling. I'm going to answer a lot of questions that I normally get and give you a little bit of insight that I'm learning currently, that I've learned throughout the years, that I've learned from people outside the land industry. So as is tradition, let me know if you can hear me, you can see me okay. Just want to make sure everything is good. You have any questions, always feel free to, whether it's live or the replay, put them in the chat. I'll answer them anytime that I can. You know that I love to help. But as a certified land investor, it's my job to show you how you can scale your business. And that could be from getting 0 deals to 1 or 1 to many, or from many to having this be your full-time gig, like it's my full-time gig, getting investors, all the good stuff. All right. So without further ado, let's dive in. But as I dive in, let me make a confession. Some of you already know, but I talked about this already, but I'll bring it up for anybody who didn't see it. A lot of times, maybe you're like me, you like to self-sabotage, and it's not in the ways that you always think. Sometimes you self-sabotage thinking you are doing the right thing, right? Especially for that precious second or multiple sources of income that everybody keeps talking about. You know, it's funny how people talk about they want to get multiple sources of income, but they haven't mastered one. Like, how are you going to master more than one if you can't even master one? But anyways, different conversation. But how does that look like to a lot of people? Like either trying to get multiple income or just self-sabotaging. For a lot of us, or at least for me, I'll speak for me, and then maybe you're like me. Maybe you're like, hey, this land thing is working. I'm getting properties in this weird place. You know, I would never want these properties for myself, but these people seem to want them. This is great. And then you're like, but what if I already found all the people who want that land and this is the end of it? Then I'll be stuck with the parcel that I can't sell. And oh my God, the world's coming down and the walls are crashing in on me. And then so now you start to, instead of, keep working the land that's working for you, you stop it out of fear that you made up in your own mind, and you're trying to do something else. Or maybe you're doing smaller lots and like, you know what, this is cool, but I want something bigger, juicier, where I don't have to, do as many. I can just do 1 or 2 big sales. This was me especially. And that's good. But the issue was I stopped doing the little stuff that was working. That was keeping the lights on, paying the bills, thinking like, oh, I need to have all my income and my resources ready for these bigger lots that are coming in. Well, yeah, they came in, I got the deals just like that, but sometimes they don't sell as quickly because there's a smaller buyer's pool who have the cash that I wanted on hand to just pay for property. So, which is fine if you have these other smaller lots going and paying bills and keeping the lights on. But again, I stopped all that thinking I had all the answers, and boom, kind of sets you back. So how do you not change what's working and not break what's not broken, things like that? Or what if you actually try to do too much at once? How do you bring it all back in? That's something we're going to talk about. All right. Now, let me put it this way. I want to make sure. All right. Hey, what's up, Yan? I want to make sure that I said this right. So I have to stop for a second. There are 3, there's probably more than 3, but I have at least 3 secrets that's going to help you scale. All right. So I need you to write this down. This first one is the big one, and it's not really a secret. I was just late to the game, knowing it, but then not doing it. So I guess there's a difference between knowing about something and actually knowing it from experience. But first number secret, write it down. KPIs, tracking, and analytics. Sounds boring, but it's extremely important. What do I mean by those things? KPIs, tracking, analytics. Well, KPI stands for key performance indicators. So basically what all that is understanding the different parts of your land investing business, the different numbers, meaning ways that you can kind of see your current activity in how many offers you're getting out there, and how many sales are you doing, and how many people accept your offers, and how much money you're spending, and whatever, anything you can attach a number to, this could be a key performance indicator. And what you're trying to do in general is take a look at When things are going well, what do the numbers normally look like? And then if you will notice, if things aren't going so well, you will probably notice a change in those numbers. For example, let's just say you're priding yourself on getting a deal every single week. And to do that, you send out at least 2,500 offers or communication way, text, mailers, voicemails, whatever. And let's say, things are working out great. Things are good. But then you notice one month that you only have maybe one or two accepted offers. Well, what happened? And you might notice that, oh, I didn't get out as many offers this month as I normally do. Or maybe I got out all the offers, but I didn't follow up with people the way I normally do. See something else you can keep track of. So that's what that is about. Now, here's the thing. What is not tracked cannot be measured. The name of the game is scaling today, right? Well, scaling means doing it bigger, doing it more successfully. It doesn't necessarily mean like you're working harder. It's just that you're able to produce more with the same amount of time or energy or resources. Maybe not the same amount, but like you're not, the amount of time and energy you're putting in does not outweigh the returns that you're getting back. Make sense? So again, what can't be tracked can't be measured. So some of the things that I do track are how much do I spend on contacting people? How many people am I contacting? How many of those contacts are successful? Meaning, when I send them a text or an email or a mailer, how many people are actually replying to me? They may not agree to a deal, but that I still count that as a successful contact. How long does it take to make a sale once I do acquire property? How long does it take to go through the acquisition process? So when someone agrees to sell me their property, how long does it take for me to actually go from saying that, that agreement to the property is now under my name? And then you want to see, once you see all those things, you can start to get a good baseline of what you're doing. Now, in those numbers, you will see what's making you money and what's not. You may notice you're spending a lot of time, let's just say, sending out ringless voicemail. And you realize, hey, about all the deals that I've gotten, I haven't got a single offer accepted from a ringless voicemail. Hell, people aren't even calling me back. This ringless voicemail thing ain't working for me. It may have worked for that other person over there, but it ain't working for me. Now, if you don't have the numbers in place, you may actually keep doing things because that's out of habit. On the other hand, sometimes we do things out of emotion. Like, oh, it's not working. I got to stop it now. But if you look at the numbers, things were working out. It just didn't seem like it because of a temporary dry spell or something. The numbers will actually help you understand that, right? Now, when you do that, it's easier for you to stay on your mission, because if you're scaling, I would imagine you're looking to work for yourself or just bring more money in for whatever reason. And that means you're doing more than you ever have before. So it's easy to let outside noise and outside influences kind of cloud your judgment and help you make rational decisions, right? And knowing versus understanding is a big difference. So what do I say by that? What do I mean by that? Well, when you're doing this on your own, you will find you have a lot more time to procrastinate because you don't have anybody breathing down your neck. You also find that sometimes you feel that things aren't working the way you planned, and you start to get a little bit nervous, especially early on in this business, because you don't have the data to be like, it will be fine, just chill out, or, look at the numbers and then make the adjustments. But you start to like, okay, let me listen to another podcast. Let me read another book. Let me, okay, well, this person does this. Maybe I should just do what they're doing. And now all these outside noises and influences, they're affecting your decision. And that clear path to profitability or whatever you're aiming for is done now. It's done. So the KPIs will keep you in line. They'll keep you focused. And the beautiful thing is, and this is something I just start to realize more recently, when you're hitting those numbers and you're just doing the output, right? It's not about how many sales you get, but how many things I'm doing to lead up to that sale or lead up to that acquisition. When you're keeping those numbers line, you realize I don't have anything to stress about. I can chill out. I understand that this work will pay off. And as long as I keep hitting these numbers, get out this many offers or whatever you're tracking, then you're good, which means you can do the other things outside of the business. The reason why you stop your job. So, for me, it's coaching basketball. For others, it's just more time with their family. Maybe you just want more money. I don't know what it is. But when you're hitting those numbers, you can start to focus on the things outside of that business guilt-free, knowing you took care of business, knowing you're doing things right, and knowing that you trust the process, the money will keep coming in, the income will keep coming in, the sales will come in, the acquisitions will come in, because you're doing what works and the numbers tell you work. One last thing I'll say about this: men lie, women lie, numbers don't. I know you've heard that one before. I know you heard it before. And the numbers will tell you if you're successful or not. They will tell you if you're on the right track or not. They will tell you if you are ready to scale, meaning to add more or not. So again, secret number one, tracking your KPIs, your analytics, all that stuff. All right. Once you find that those those patterns in the numbers, those things that tell you, hey, when I hit these amounts, this is when I get a sale. When I get these amounts, this is when things don't happen. You have a good understanding of your business. It's very easy, and it makes it stupid dumb to just be like, oh yeah, just do these things. Boom, got it. All right, you guys got it. We good. We good. Any questions? Reginald, what is one of the main factors for sellers selling their land that you experience? This is not what we're talking about, Reginald, but I'll tell you anyway because I'm a nice guy. The reason why people sell their land is simple. They have property that they don't want. That's it. It doesn't matter how much it's worth. They don't want it. They want to get rid of it. Why not get some money for it? So you ask them, you ready to sell? This is why you got to talk to a lot of people. And this is why you target a certain amount of people who owe back taxes, who don't live near the area, things like that. All right, back to scaling. Secret number 2, SOPs. You guys know what SOP stands for? Standard operating procedures. Basically, these are the rules and the things that you as a company or the business, how you operate, the different ways you like to go about doing things. All right. So first off, understand what you do very well. Understand it from every aspect of the business. And as you're first starting out, you're probably doing everything from the research to the outreach to the negotiations, the due diligence, the transfer, the marketing, the sales, the transfer to the seller, taxes, you're doing everything. Understand that with great detail. Now, after you're doing a deal or two, you should already pretty much understand that pretty well. But here's where a lot of people falter. They keep everything here. They don't write down what's going on in their business. So when it's time for them to hire somebody on, or they want to get an investor involved, and like, hey, this is what I've been doing. This is how things work. Let me, do you want to get in or not? And that person needs more detail. Now they're trying to go off the top of their head. Not that they don't remember it, but it's a lot more cohesive to hand them a document or to read from that document so you're organized and everything is presented in a logical manner that that investor can actually understand. Or again, if you're hiring somebody, like, hey, this is your section of the business. This is what you're responsible for. This is how things need to be done for, whatever reasons you have. Boom, you have that. So it's very important that you do that, because when you don't do that, you cannot scale. How do you scale something that's just a nebulous idea in your head? How do you scale something like, well, I usually do this, and it seemed to work, but I can't really duplicate that on a consistent basis, because you see what I'm saying? You write it down, you formalize it, you make it as generalized, but as specific as it needs to be. I know that's an oxymoron, but the point is you want to make sure that you want to give yourself some very rigid boundaries, but it's not so rigid where you paint yourself into a corner, especially as things change. You got to make small little tweaks to the recipe. So this is the way I like to say it. Write things down, line by or task by task or position by position, and write it in a way where a 5-year-old can understand it. So that way, again, as you're training your VA that will come on at some point, or you're bringing in a family member to learn the business or whatever it is, you actually have something that is very easy. You just hand it off and they should understand it. And then that starts the conversation. That may not be the only thing you give them to show them what needs to happen, but it understands the conversation. Not to mention, when you write these things down, it helps you to not just see the business, but actually see the holes in your knowledge, see what you're missing, seeing why you're nervous about going through certain deals. Like, oh, I realize I don't have a procedure for this, or I don't really understand this aspect of the business as well as I want to. Doing that will actually give you a great way to see what to study, see who to partner with, see how to just improve yourself. Another aspect of scaling, you can't do things, you don't want to scale a broken operation. You want to make sure everything is airtight. So if you're going to do more of it and invest more money into it, make sure it's airtight. And then when you're doing that, you can also see, like, I don't want to be doing roles A, B, and C. I don't like doing those roles. I'm good at them, but I'm ready to hire out. Now, again, you don't want to hire out before it's too soon. You don't want to hire just because you don't like it. That's dumb, right? That's another way of self-sabotaging I talked about earlier. You're just getting away from the work instead of upgrading. Understand how to do the job properly. Get good at it. So when you do hire, you know if the person's doing a good job or not. You know what you should be looking for without trying to just do a wait and see or a guessing game. You can quickly nip something in the bud, either for training purposes or realize this person's not going to work out, right? And you only can do that when you have everything written down, your SOPs are clearly defined, you're good at what you do. So it's time to scale, whether you're doing it with somebody else or you're going to buy a tool or whatever it is. Because here's the secret. If you do hire or you buy a different tool to take care of one of the responsibilities you don't want anymore, but you don't know what the hell you're doing, you will go out of business. Why? Because you're going to spend all your money on that VA or that tool without having the ability to know when it's working or not. This is what happens to a lot of people, myself included. Tried to do something too soon, spent a lot of money on something, didn't realize that I didn't have the handle that I needed because I didn't write things down. And when people ask, well, what do I do? How do I do it? Like, well, this is what I normally, again, not clearly defined. Don't make that mistake, people. Cool. So far, so good. Let's go on to secret number 3. Now, this one's very important. It's a little bit of out of left field. So the first one was the KPI, the tracking analytics. The second is to write down your SOPs. The third one, you got to be honest with yourself on this one. Okay. What do you really want? What is your vision for your life, for this business? Not just like, I just need to pay this debt down, or I got to pay these bills, or no, you have to understand what you want. Because if you don't understand that, then you're wasting your time. I've talked to so many people who want me to train them in the land investing game. And I'll always ask them, let's like, all right, let's say I give you the knowledge. And this is my favorite analogy. And if we ever have a phone or a Zoom conversation about joining my mentorship program and becoming one of the certified land investors who actually are killing it right now, I will ask this at some point in the conversation. Let's just say I have that machine from the Matrix where I can just download information directly into your brain. So you just, boom, you just know Kung Fu. So what does that mean? That means you have the information, but you do not understand. You have the information, but you're actually making money now, right? Let's just say you just have it. What's next? You're making money. What's next? You don't have a vision. You're just looking at right now. You're in survival mode. You're not going to be able to scale because you're going to make decisions based on scarcity, or you're just running blind, hoping that something happens that kind of guides you. You're a ship without a rudder, a car without a steering wheel, right? A basketball team without a coach, no direction, no leadership. So what does that mean? Think about the end game, and not just, hey, I just want to be on the beach sipping Mai Tais all day. I mean, that could be it. That could be it. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But it doesn't have to be. It can just like, I just want more time with my family. How much time do I need with my family? Well, my kids are playing sports or whatever's happening. So I need at least this amount of time per day, and I need it between these hours. Okay, great. How much money do you need to make to do that? Well, this is what my bills are. And you go on and on and on until you actually understand exactly what's needed, right? And then you think about, okay, what's my time frame? How long do I have to get that? How long will I have that? What happens after that time frame? So you'll have to see. Now, once you understand that, then you got to be honest with yourself. What can you do in the moment, right? As in, what are your current skills? What is your current abilities? What is your current business bringing in? Now, again, if you go to step 1 or the first secret, you're tracking KPI, a little easier to answer, right? Because they will tell you what's going on. However, if it's not that, If it's not that, then you'll have to kind of just understand what you're doing. All right. So you're looking at, honestly, what can you, like, what do you really want and what you can do in the moment. Okay. And then with that said, understand the calculated risks that you need to take. Your number should help you, your idea should help you, but understand the calculated risks you should take and how you should scale, what things you should actually start to expand right away, what things can take time, what things can you keep on your plate, what things you need to get rid of your plate. And a secret that was told to me, and I'll tell you guys, even if you're not good at it, the sales part should stay with you the longest. That should be the last thing you hire out. Everything else, you know, depending on what you find out from the KPIs and your honest assessment with yourself, but you should definitely keep the sales part yours until you have the time and money to train a team of people, not just one person, but a team of people. And usually it's a significant amount of income you need to really have a sales team for it to make sense, because a good salesperson is going to require a lot of money. And, you know, why hire a bad salesperson? Because they're not going to make any sales for you, and you're not going to, you got to pay them for not making sales. So you got to pay a good salesperson for bringing in the bacon, but they're going to want to be compensated accordingly. So again, that's why you got to have a lot of income coming in. That's why it's the last thing you hire out. But the point is this: understand where you are, understand what you want to be and how you need to get there, and then make a plan from there. All right. Now, bonus secret, consistency with your systems, or just systems in general. All right. So what can you do every day to kind of drive you forward on your goal? Right. And this business is probably mailing and marketing, meaning, you know, getting offers out and then marketing the properties that you do have. All right. Also, understanding how to leverage your strengths and weaknesses to make these systems. Hold on with it, Raquel. Understanding how to make these, to leverage your strengths and weaknesses to make these systems. For example, I'm a software engineer. I can make a lot of software to do a lot of things that that is tedious and, I don't need to think. Let a computer do it. Others, I might need a human being to do it, right? But I will keep the parts that I'm good at, and then we all work together like simpatico. All right. So what else can we do? Finding new areas, mailing and marketing, as I said, contact new people all day. Just trusting the process, right? Getting that system. So the system could be automated. It could be something like, I just do these activities every single day, and I know it's going to get me to my goal because my KPIs say that. Now, what can you do right now to start your scaling discussion? First off, if you are researching an area or researching if you would want to get into land investing, give yourself a timeline. Hell, if you can't make a decision by the end of this calendar year, this ain't for you, because you're going to know if you want it or not. And you're either scared to jump in, which is normal, happens to all of us, or you're trying to make yourself like something that it's just not going to work for you. Either way, jump in or jump out. Stop messing around, stop double dutching, get into it. Second, if you are pick an area, if you already got an area, double down on that area if it's working for you. If not, pick a new area. Because now what I'm going to ask you to do is to increase your offers. So if you just pick your first area, you're going from 0 offers to, 1,000. If you're already doing 1,000 or 2,000, now you try to add another 1,000 or doubling it, right? The name of the game is to get more going if you're looking to scale. What else can you do? Pick your budget. How much can you invest in land right now? How much can you invest in tools? If this is going to be a full-time thing, how quickly can you actually, or how much can you set aside as you're getting this started up so you can start to leave that job? All these things. All right. So recap. First, scaling secret. Got to understand your KPIs, your tracking, your analytics, so you know what's working, what's not. That's how you know where you can focus your attention into. Second secret, your SOPs, understanding what you do, every aspect of the business, understanding it very well, so you can hire out if necessary, find the blind spots if necessary. Third one, be honest with yourself. Where do you want to go? How do you want to get there? Right? What things can you do now? Where are your skill sets? You understand these three things together. It's going to show you where to and how to scale that business of yours. And the fourth thing, be consistent, right? This is a bonus. Be consistent. Be consistent with what you're doing. No haphazard stuff. Even when times are dark, the best companies, they stay pretty consistent with what they do. They may add a little bit of this and that from time to time as markets change, but the companies that jump from one thing to the next, They never do as well as those that are consistent. Never. All right. So here's the thing. Think about the goals that you have for yourself this year. Did you hit those goals? Whether the amount of land that you want to invest in or the amount of money you want to make or whatever it is, did you hit those goals? If you did not hit those goals, you're probably like me. You probably need someone like me in your life to help you get there with the knowledge, the experience, and the accountability that you need to make things happen. 2023 is going to be a big year for a lot of us. But for some of us, it's going to be a year that's going to be just like any other. If you are tired of being sick and tired of sick and tired, just look, hit me up. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if you too can become a certified land investor. Let's see if you too can actually work with me and my people and learn these skills and make the money that you want to make in the time that you want to do it and not have to be a slave to somebody else. All right. But you have any questions, you guys know where I am. I'm glad to give you these 3 scaling secrets. Use them well, my friends. Other than that, peace out.